So I got asked the other day about burnout. There's so much, burnout in the world. So many people are feeling burned out, and the question was basically how do I navigate that? I work a busy job. I have a lot of things going on. It's a very fast-paced company. Have I ever, dealt with or brushed up against burnout? And hopefully my answer won't be too unpopular, but I don't believe in burnout in the way that it is conventionally conceived, which is not to say that I don't think people have that experience, but I think it's a misunderstood experience. People think burnout is about, working too much, working too hard, spending too much time, which people do and they will be tired. But tired and burnout are not the same thing. Burnout, as not that I'm an expert in this area, I want to be clear about that, but as I understand the literature, a big part of burnout is a feeling of futility to the situation. It's not just that I'm working really hard and therefore I can't handle it. It's that I'm working really hard. There's no end in sight. I don't see it changing. There's nothing I can do about it. And that experience of working really hard, it's the experience is different depending on how you're perceiving a situation, how you got into it, right? I tell clients sometimes, backpacking through Europe can be a lot of fun unless you're doing it because you lost your passport, in which case you're probably not going to be very happy about the experience, right? So, you can set out and say, okay, for the next 30, 60, 90, whatever days, and I don't think you can actually sprint for 90 days, but for this next stretch of time, I'm head down, I'm working hard, I'm going to have to take care of myself as I do that, but I'm giving a lot because it's important. But when we find ourselves in a position where it's like, the days are super long, nothing seems to matter, I don't feel like there's anything I can do about it, that's when it starts to really wear us down. And so going back to, I don't believe in air quotes in burnout in that sense, because I don't believe that and there are exceptions to be clear, but I don't believe that in most cases, there's nothing we can do about it. I think most people have a lot more agency than they act as if they have in situations. You can rethink your allocation of your time, especially I'm like the people I work with, they're entrepreneurs, they're starting their own businesses. So on the one hand, there's a bazillion things they need to do and it's really hard and a lot isn't working. But on the other hand, there's a lot of agency and potential for autonomy. But even in other contexts and other roles, there are things you can do. You can, even in a traditional job setting, you can find a new job. You can choose to go work somewhere else. You can renegotiate your situation. You can adjust the way you're working. There are always a lot of things that you can do. And as long as there are things that you can do and you haven't kind of given up that agency, I don't think that doesn't lead to burnout. Burnout is what you feel when you feel completely disempowered. And so I've been tired on many, many occasions, but burnout is not a feeling that I can usually relate to. The closest that I'll get is if it just feels like things aren't working for an extended stretch of time and I'm working super hard and nothing seems to move the needle and I can't get things to work and I can't get people on board with the vision. I don't even know if I have clarity on what the vision is. You start feeling that burnout, but even in that situation, there are things I can do. I can make some space. I can try to think and find another way to pursue things. I can reach out for help. That's, by the way, one of the most important things that people can do and yet often don't. So I guess maybe I'll amend my answer. It's not that I don't believe in burnout. It's that I believe people allow themselves to get to that state way sooner than they need to, right? There are a lot of things that could be done. They just don't do it.